Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and my players as always, as we do another Dark Heresy episode. So, brief recap, because this has all been within kind of, it's not a day anymore. It's probably about a day and a half, 2 days. But our players, our Inquisitorial agents, landed on a mining world. On that mining world, things were going down. They stopped a portal that had opened up to another world, and Tyranids were making their way through. After stopping this, they then took a hair-raising ride up into orbit where a space station had been taken over in a way by heretics. After killing a load of servitors, making their way through the space station and coming to face the heretic Magos, a demon host appeared. After the demon host was actually quite badly wounded, I will give it to the team. They did some work on that guy. But after he had had his fun and failed his mission, he left. Upon leaving, he made a hole straight through the shipyard space station thing, and caused a few more problems. It was shortly after this time that our crew learned a little bit more information. Now, does anyone want to tell any of the higher powers anything? You can think of anything you missed out last time. I know it was 2 weeks ago. There was. Speak up.
Did inform the Inquisitor on the Vox communicate that the demon did say something. I don't remember the precise wording of what it was, but they will obviously they'll meet again.
Yes. My master says that we will meet again. Something along those lines. Yes, you did inform him of that.
I will tell everything to the Inquisitor. I'm not going to omit anything that I can think of, but I don't think I heard the demon host speak anything because I was deafened.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone else is after the fucking deafened.
Yeah, like
I was basically going mop the entire time because I couldn't hear shit.
God fucking.
These are all true facts. Winters, just in case you are muted.
Yeah, I would have told him as well, kind of everything the demon told me. I have a memory of something about
muted.
like I'm muted.
No,
Wait,
no,
how
Winters.
do you know?
No, Winters.
Deafened.
Okay.
Acting deafened.
What?
What?
God damn it.
I'll stop. Sorry.
I don't need to remember. It was something like something about its master wanting me or something.
No. So the message from the demon host to Geddy about his master was passed on. The demon's master doesn't want you. The demon host wants you.
Oh no, the demon host wants
friends.
me. Yeah,
you will be
it.
friends.
That's it, and I'll tell him that and I'll be very much like, I will kill that thing next time I see it, because fuck that for a box of soldiers.
I do not consent.
Ooh,
okay. So,
okay.
No, if there's nothing else for you guys to that you want to pass on,
nothing's coming to the top of my head at the moment. So
it has been.
I got something. I want to tell our Inquisitor in private that there was a ship watching very, very far away, and there was a data link from the heretics thing to there. I told them to go fuck themselves. Sorry.
Excellent, Winters. Excellent. So
Brilliant.
This crucial piece of information is passed on to the Inquisitor.
We told him about the data slate, right? That he tried to grab it and we blew it up.
Yep. Yep, I don't remember that.
You have picked up the pieces.
Yes.
So, first things first. Mordecai, I need a willpower test.
Oh,
minus
God.
10 as you pick up the pieces
Oh,
of
God.
the data slate. Secondly, the rest of you, after a few, like maybe half an hour, you're going to start feeling tired. Like I said, it's basically been like 24, so 48 hours in between that kind of number, because you guys haven't slept except from on the shuttle coming from the planet to the space station. So you are starting to run low on energy.
Just a quick question: is this a psychic power type test, or is it just a willpower test?
I'll give it to you that there is warp nonsense going on here.
Yeah,
It's
more because I have
nonsense.
strong-minded that kind of gives me a bonus if it is a psychic power that I'm trying to resist.
So it's not a psychic power. It's warp fuckery.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I will give it to you as a psychic power, because I think you would have some resistances.
Yeah, because I've got resistant psychic power and strong-minded, which is a plus 10 and a reroll on a fail.
I mean, genuinely speaking, I'll give you the plus 10 for your resist. Normally, I probably wouldn't, but where you are a psyker, and this kind of it's in a grey area, basically.
Yeah. But that's kind of why I was asking, because it sounded like a grey area. I just wanted to, like, whether those matter or not. 'Cause, like, I don't know. You're the GM. Yeah, so the plus 10 negates the minus 10 then.
Yeah.
There we go. I think I'm fine.
So no, you are, as you pick them up, you can feel that there's something off. Like, as you pick up all the pieces, you start brushing the glass shards. These data slate screen that has the screen itself has actually turned red, and you're collecting all of these bits up, and there's definitely something wrong, something off about these, but you're not entirely sure what it is, but it's definitely warpy and weird.
I just look to Darius, picking them up, and go, no one else of less willpower should touch these, if willpower was a number.
Darius blinks at you for a couple of seconds before. Maybe we should get you to the Medicaid. You're talking about nonsense again.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise an eyebrow. Put my head to the side. Are you okay, Mordecai?
No, I'm not okay. I got almost got my leg blown off by a plasma blast, and then just had a demon grab my clothes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Darius. Yeah, he definitely needs time in the Medicaid.
At least the demon, at least this thing isn't as pissed off as it isn't anymore, as it once was.
Yes, I thank you for that.
You're welcome. Oh, thank the Emperor didn't actually hit me. Those claws look sharp.
Yes, they would probably have hurt more than they looked as well.
Right. Regardless, get your stuff up. Start your report. We got time, don't we? Before meeting and everything.
Yeah.
Right. Go get some R&R, all of you, and then we'll meet up with the Inquisitor and get everything else sorted out.
Question: did I get healed by Eris last session? Winters, sorry. Winters.
I believe you did.
Yeah, you did.
I think you did.
I did my best to fix everyone.
Yeah, you failed on me.
Right?
Yes, I said I did my best to fix everyone. It does not mean to heal. Seriously, I tried.
So essentially, anyone who's missing hit points, you're going off to the Medicaid Center aboard Ludwig's ship. Anyone who isn't missing any health is heading off to the gun cutter to go and do a report, get some chow, and basically have a wash and go to sleep.
Can I assist in moving? Oh, someone's dropped there. No. Can I assist in moving, or can I assist people moving to the Medicaid? You know, give people a hand,
Yeah, sure.
have them up on the stretchers and everything, and then after everyone's secured in Medicaid, go to my room and everything.
Sure. Your gun cutter is docked aboard Ludwig's ship, so you're basically going in the same direction. So that's not a problem. The Inquisitor, it would at least you'd know his location. He is currently with the Magos. Magos Dominus. Garlic.
Yes, garlic.
Garlic.
Goes great on bread.
As does Nutella, but they don't pair well with each other.
Did you try it?
Please don't.
Don't do it till you try it.
You're not putting Nutella on bread.
Disgusting. So, for those of you who need care, you'll be cared for. For those of you who, and if you're getting care done, you're basically going to be in there. They'll feed you and you'll rest. You do have enough time to pass information on to the Inquisitor. So, Heresy's secret talk, you can basically go to the where the Inquisitor is and the tech priest, tell them, and then go off to get fill your report out and get some rest. Because there's been no downtime, we're gonna speed through your recovery. So 8 hours basically pass. You will have a really nice sleep. Some of you not so much in the medical bays, but hey ho.
Ooh, yeah.
Everyone in the medical bays receives 3 HP for each day and night that they sleep in there. So if you're not full, best off either staying in there, or you can wander about and slowly recover your HP, 1 HP at a time per day.
Ezio would stay in the medical bay till he's healed.
It would be at this point in, like, as you come round, you're not quite on a normal time level at the moment, so you're kind of waking up afternoonish, thinking it's morning. You'd get informed by one of probably Ludwig's crew. I imagine he's got the most numbers at the moment. That in a day's time, the Inquisitor will have a debriefing with you all. You have this day to carry on recovering or to do as you wish. You will all get passed off a data slate, which has a requisition form on it. And you'll notice it has the symbol of the Adeptus Mechanicus on the data slate.
I forgot to do my shopping list. Hang on.
The Magos Dominus will assist in acquiring a reward for each of you. Just keep in mind that you are in the middle of space. You may not be hanging around for very long, so something that's on this station is preferable. And there is a list, basically things that we went through last time, 2 weeks ago, of things that are kind of acceptable, non-acceptable. But you can fill out what you want, and then when you ask for it, I can tell you no, yes, whatever. For bollocks, there was something else I was meant to. For Eris, or for Winters rather, you're given access to the forges, or the reclamation? No, not reclamation. Repair foundries on board the station. So if you want to do anything, you have access to their stores and so on. This will also give
plasma.
This will also give you a +20 on any crafting or maintenance roles. There was something else I was meant to mention, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it is now. Never mind, it'll come back to me.
Alright. I'll go around with that requisition form and make sure everyone fills it out. sure Albie knows how to fill it out, being a former guardsman. And yeah, the tech priest probably does know how to do it too, since it's a mechanical spell. The other two, not so much.
Yeah.
The two mutants we're not sure about.
I was going to say Tigers, but yeah, twists. It's a little bit more politically correct to say twist.
We've
do it.
both saved each other's lives at this point. Are you still calling me a twist?
Yes.
Wow.
In private.
You
No,
bastard.
When you're not around.
Darius actually stopped calling you a twist fucking ages ago.
know.
You just never noticed.
It's because I just expect it from now on.
Ah, that was it. Okay, so Mordecai, you wake up 8 hours later, in the medical bay, perhaps in the medical bay, not feeling your greatest, your leg really, really stinging as it has this gel wrap around it to help with the burns. And a medical personnel informs you that there's someone to see you. An individual enters your medical... you guys have helped quite a lot, so I imagine you actually have private rooms rather than just an open ward. So he enters, and you would notice that this individual is wearing complete white robe, a cowl that covers his head. He's quite a well-built individual, and he has a silver hem along the robe, along the corners of the extremities. You, Mordecai, of Inquisitor Bloodstone's entourage.
That is correct. Who may
Salutations.
you be?
I am but a
Salutations.
humble servant, but I have been gifted the responsibility of delivering this most sacred of gifts. He brings forth a book. It's quite a thick book, but it's of average size. He holds it up. What is written in this book can never be transcribed to data slate. It is too valuable. Thus I have been sent to give it to you personally. But I must warn you, you must never let this book fall into the hands of our enemies. It would be far better, for your sake, and the sake of my masters, should you learn it word for word and then burn it. Please
Understood.
take on this responsibility wholeheartedly. And he hands you the book.
I will give my whole being to this. Take it and look at it. What does it say on the front?
It would say some strange thing like Imperator Banish Maleficarum, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But it would basically be the Emperor's prescribed literature on the banishment and knowledge of demons.
Wouldn't that be Imperial Malefica?
Yeah, I think that's the
Something along those
word.
lines.
Yeah,
Or it's something along them. It's the condensed version, so it's obviously not going to go into specifics about every single named demon that there is, because that's a completely different book, and the Inquisition hold that one. But it is, it does give you forbidden knowledge, demonology.
Awesome.
And it would also give you, from an investigation terms, it would give you avenues to go down. So you might know that if you get this other book, it could let you know more. Whereas without this, you just wouldn't have a clue where to start.
Awesome. Nice.
Like actually binding a demon host, not in this book, but learning about them is in this book.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe learning some powers. Are they in this book?
Yes, the techniques of banishment. So sanctified would be in there.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
Yeah,
that's more of the knowledge that once you learn it, you fucking burn the book, because you can't let the demons get in hold of this type of knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. And until that point, it doesn't leave my fucking side. I thank you greatly for this gift. I will use it wisely.
See that you do. And I hope that the God Emperor protects you in your work. But I must carry on my journey. He does the full Aquila across his chest, bows down to you. And
I'd return the symbol. So may he watch over you.
So unfortunately, just a humble scribe and serf of the Grey Knights. Or
Who are the Grey Knights? Also, I think this you may have kept cutting out.
Oh, did I now?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Like a little bit for me, especially towards the end, but I still got the gist of everything. Which is good. Yeah.
Sadness. I'll have to check and make sure that Discord is not because I meant to have quite a large delay on when I let go of the button now, but maybe it's reset itself. Anyway, so yes, you now have the knowledge to learn about demons, banishing them, and other psychic powers. Winters, I don't believe you were really injured in that last fight.
I didn't even get shot.
So when you
jealous.
wake up in the morning, you're more of just like a little bit sore from all the running around and charging about. But apart from that, I don't even think you got hurt in the Tyrannid battle either. So yeah, it's just been a roller coaster the last 48 hours. But when you wake up, you don't really have any duties except from those that you determine yourself. So maybe you eagerly head on over to the repair bay. Would you like to give me a tech use test? Now, mainly the issue with your plasma weapon was the fact that a part needed to be repaired, or better yet, replaced. And repairing it was a bodge job at best, so it was best to replace it. It's not incredibly difficult, although it is an internal integrated weapon, which makes it a little bit more. So there'd be a -10 to you replacing the part. You do get a +20 for the facilities.
I will also say that since I do have access to the proper facilities, I'm going to go all out with the rituals.
Sure, you're able to do that. They have brought online a number of brand new servitors that were never had their programming updated from when they arrived. So there are a few servitors that can assist you, lighting incense and doing bobbing around.
And everything else that adds up to a lot.
So
Well,
I
shit.
believe you get 7 degrees of success, because it does cap at 100. So you get 7 degrees of success. You want to roll me a 1d3. Okay, so within an hour, you have got your plasma weapon repaired.
Finally! Praise the Messiah!
Oh, brilliant. This?
Yes.
You thinking, or just went
I
quiet?
was just checking over some things, seeing maybe there was someone wanted to jump in with something, but that's fine. So Eris, you'll be spending an hour doing that. The rest of you have whoever else is not wounded and need or wants to leave the medical bay. If there's anything you'd like to do?
I'm not in medical bay.
Yeah, then like Eris, you wake up the next day, maybe sore, and I can't remember if you were wounded at all, but any of the
didn't get
field
hurt.
wounds. Oh, well, there you go. So yeah, you're just sore and just like, much like your days on your home world, just thinking back on the last 24 hours, like, wow, what a roller coaster! I can't believe that all happened in.
Yeah, that brings up a good point. First thing I want to do is go around everyone in the team and everyone who was on mission, just in medical bay and everything else, and make sure everyone's okay. Then I gotta request something of the Inquisitor.
Sure, you can do that. The Inquisitor is still on the space station.
Okay.
Still in the Dominus's in the command HQ of the place.
Okay. So first things first is going around checking on everyone. That includes the squad mates from the other team and the armorsman. Make sure he's all right too. The one fucker that survived.
Sure. So when you go in to perhaps check on Mordecai, you would see that that particular armsman is actually in medical bay, but it doesn't seem as if he's in there for physical harm. He just saw some shit, and then the medic's like, "Yeah, you just in case, you stay in here tonight." And in the morning, he still looks a little bit shaky, like that 1,000-yard stare of watching your friends get splotted, then being the only one left alive, like, huh.
I'll just watch him for a little bit before talking to the medic. Just make sure they keep an eye on him, don't give him any sharp objects or anything like that, and head off to the Inquisitor, or head off to find the Inquisitor at least.
Sure, you can do that. The Medicae gives you a nod and seems to be, because this is Ludwig's Medicae, so he's kind of impressed that you're taking a moment to care about the crew.
Well, I was on a vessel for a couple of years after the fucking monstrosity that happened home. Darius has definitely heard a lot of fucking things, so he's making sure that this is a traumatic event for everyone. So he's definitely checking up on people.
Sure, you can do that. It takes you about half an hour to get through the station. It does appear as if a servitor or maybe some serfs, some tributae have basically painted a line of which ways are okay to go now.
Okay.
So you follow the white line, and eventually you get to a large intersection where you can see, right, yeah, that's where I go up to see the main command console. That's where we had the fight. You're led back to that area.
Okay. All right. So, the Inquisitor was with the command area?
Yeah.
So I'll head on that direction.
Sure, and you see quite a large corridor. There's 4 Scutari placed at two in front of the other. As soon as you approach the frontline Skitarii, they make no motions to stop you or anything like that. The next two Skitarii, again, they make no motions to stop you. As you come up to the main door to the command area, it's open, and you can see that the Inquisitor is leant over a holographic projector of quite impressive technological means. It is an Adeptus Mechanicus item after all, and the Magos appears to be going through data with him. As you walk up, give me a awareness check with a +20, but then give me an intelligence roll.
All right. Intelligence flat or negative?
Yeah.
Or...
No, I'd say there's enough military knowledge there for you to get some sort of gist. So just flat. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so the holographic projector seems to be showing, like, at first it was this subsector, which maybe you weren't entirely sure of until it zoomed in quite a lot, and you can see that it's actually, writing has appeared as you're sort of walking up the steps. You can see that it's actually on this subsector of the Ultramar segmentum, and you can see that a number of, it seems to be fleet movements. From what you're gathering, it seems to be fleet movements, and it's fleet movements that are moving into the system. And there appear to be a number as you're like walking through the doorway. You can see the icons to show ships are already in orbit of a certain hive world.
Agrafria.
Yes.
Okay. Does any show any indication of what these fleets are? I may have missed it if you said
they
it.
all have the signifier for the Ultramar segmentum fleets.
Okay.
So it's part of the, I think Ultramar has 4 fleets. They have 4 sky big commanders. You know, one of them's on Agrafria at the moment. Yeah. I think they have 4 fleets, but when they're moving to add new units, or when they're picking up forces, they genuinely break off part of the fleet, and it will go to restock or to do its mission, and then they'll reform with the main fleet. This is basically what you're seeing.
Okay.
And as you kind of get up to the Inquisitor's height on the main opening area where this holographic table is, you can see that a number of the ships are marked as transport ships. But just before you're in like the Inquisitor's next to him, about, you know, coughing to let him know you're there, or you can see that around the world there are a number of other ships, still with the Imperial signifiers, but they're coloured differently. There's like 4 or 5 different colours there. There's only one red coloured. Would it be red? It probably wouldn't be red. It'd be like orange. Yeah, they'd probably save red for enemies, so that no one gets confused. It's like, oh, this trading vessel's coming in, but it's marked red. Yeah, there's one orange signifier, and there's a number of other much smaller classification ships. So as you're like quickly looking over, like they're all transport ships, good ships, cargo ships, all the things a hive world needs in order to sustain itself.
Okay. Alright. So I'll give a little cough, let them know I'm here, and I'll interrupt their discussion.
It'd probably be the Magos who notices you first, and a number of the tech priests who are doing work on the station. It looks like they're taking a lot of the Cognite consoles out and just scrapping them completely and putting brand new ones in. But I imagine the Magos with his many mechadendrites would notice you first and motion towards the Inquisitor. Oh, Darius. He looks down at his chrono. Good afternoon. I didn't realize how much time had passed. How's your group doing?
Most of them are recovering, getting some rest in med bay, and I believe our latest edition, Winters, is in the foundry, repairing a weapon or something. I went around and took a check-in on as many as I could find, just to make sure everyone's alright.
Oh, that's good to hear that one of you's taking the leadership position. Always helps when one of you elect one of yourselves. Who knows, Darius? Maybe there's a brighter future for you in the Emperor's Ordos.
Okay. Yeah. Darius will just kind of shift his boots a little bit there, or shifting his boots a little bit. And, as you say, sir. This is a bit more of a less official meeting, I suppose.
By all means, if you have something to say, at ease, say what you wish.
During the fight with the thing, I believe I heard my sister's voice. Something faded and distant, or maybe from my recollection of the events, everything went by so quickly, but it even sounded as if it was I don't know. But it got me thinking, as well as the rest of the events what happened. I want some permission to get one of the scribes and take a look at some of the data you've gathered from Faunus. I want to know what happens to the refugees, and maybe some information on family records.
Very well, Darius. You have my permission to seek the records. You'll find them on my gunship. Darius, I'm not gonna tell you that you're gonna like what you find there, but we should have some time until we head onto our next objective. A little sneak peek at the debriefing later today or tomorrow. I can't quite remember when. We'll be spending at least 3 or 4 days here, and then we'll be heading back to Aquafria. So you have some time to get your mind in order, should you learn some painful truths.
Very well, sir. Another thing. We were given a requisition slip form.
Yes, the Magos wanted to thank you personally.
If the Magos is looking in the direction and everything, I'll give him a quick, come to attention and give him a nod. I can't really salute or anything like that because I don't know how to do or Darius wouldn't know how to do the sign of the cog or anything like that. So the closest thing would be coming to attention. But I personally, I'm going to request that you choose what I need for me. If you find me lacking in any department, put me down for training or something that'll improve me in that situation. But if that's not possible, or if that's not what this requisition could happen, give it to someone else in the team. At the moment, equipment-wise, I am fine, I suppose. Actually, on equipment, he'll reach back, pull back the Inquisitor's bolt pistol, unload it, hand back over.
Oh, thank you, Darius. I hope it served you well. If that is what you wish, then by all means, I won't turn down your request. He looks at the Magos.
If this is your decision, then I will not be against it. However, I will assist how I can, Inquisitor.
Thank you, Magos.
By all means, Magos, you do as you see fit. The Magos doesn't do the sign of the cog to either of you. He just kind of gives you a small head bow and then starts going over more data. Although it doesn't look as if he's going over the data of the projector. He's moving his cybernetic hand around as if he's looking at data in front of him, and he's going over it and moving it to side and so on and forth.
Okay. So he's got multiple screens, or not multiple screens, but displays and such.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. With that, I'll thank the Inquisitor for his time. Ask if there's anything else I can help him with before I head off to go to the Cogite.
By all means,
Before making
Darius,
my
at ease. Go and do as you wish for the next, I think, 24 hours. One of the tech priests at the back turns around and is like, no, 18 hours, 17 minutes, and 24 seconds, Inquisitor. Right.
Yep. Come up to attention. Turn to my right. Walk off.
Okay.
To make
so
my way to the Cogite.
You may go through the Cognite and learn the information that you may not wish to seek. Going through the information, willpower test, I'm afraid. -10. This will, with a failure, it will come with 1 insanity, and you will basically go through a small amount of shock.
Does resistance fear come into it? Any chance?
Sure, I'll give it to you. I'll give you that. This is pretty terrifying writing for someone of the world. And it's also the way that it's written, because it's Ministorum, very to the facts.
No beating around the bush.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay. You can use a fortune point, as one has been returned to you. If not, you gain 1 insanity point.
Okay.
So, the numbers on your world, however many million or perhaps billion there were, it was essentially a 95% mortality rate. The 5% or so, those lucky few who managed to escape into star vessels, and this is mainly the civilian population. Military numbers are just as grim, but they're put to another side. Of the civilian population, at 5%, 0.1% of those still live. The rest of them were executed under the Inquisition's orders. You'll see that there are two Inquisitor seals under it. And it states that this was a majority verdict by a I think it's a confederate, not confederation, bollocks. A triarch? No, not. It's basically when Inquisitors come together to decide a planet's fate.
I guess it's a council?
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll go with council. So 2 of the council agreed to this, and so it was done. Of the survivors, they were taken to separate worlds that had a high inquisitorial presence, and most of them were nobility or people with enough influence to be able to spare their lives. Of the military units, you're probably looking at a 96% mortality rate for those units on the world. For those units who were taken off the world, you would see that it is basically a 99% execution rate. There is a very small amount of surviving units. Most of them would be hardcore veterans, those who have an extremely long service history or were present at truly miraculous events, who were taken by the Inquisition. However, in the military reports, you would see that there is a large chunk of, maybe not a large chunk, but there's a decent wedge of the military units that are not marked KIA, but instead MIA, missing in action,
yeah,
or traitor. Those that were clearly defined and let themselves known were marked as. However, as you may or may not, we'll say you do, start typing in your family name, you'd notice that your name appears in the Inquisition lists. Or at the
Just
very
my
least,
name?
So the header would be imprisoned for inquisitorial questioning or purposes, uses. Kind of gives you a catch-all, so it's not like, oh, all these people are working for the Inquisition now.
Yeah.
Your name appears in that list, as does your brother's.
Both?
Your eldest brother, I believe. The one that was in your backstory.
I'm the youngest, so the eldest.
So I believe it was the middle.
Okay.
Because you, from the backstory that I remember, after some time in the engagement, you came across another friendly unit, and your brother was in that unit.
Yeah.
You didn't really say too much to him, but it does appear as if he did survive the massacre and the following purges. However, the fact part that may make you know, a lump grow in your throat is when you see another name, your sister's. But it is not missing in action, and it is not killed in action or in custody of the Inquisition. She was marked as a traitor. At the very least, according to the Munitorum's documents, or the Inquisitorial Munitorum documents, ones that come in redacted if you don't get them from an Inquisitorial database.
Ooh. Right. Oh, fucking hell. Right. Okay. Darius is having a bit of a. His eye begins to twitch, his fingers just stiffen and contract and stiffen, contract, stiffen, contract. He closes everything down, and was there a scribe there to assist him? Because he's not exactly the most technologically literate person.
Yeah, I imagine there would be a. So technically, the only person who would be able to assist you who has Inquisitorial clearance
would be the scribe lady from the other team.
It's either the scribe lady, or it would be Sergeant Kroon, the pilot.
Right. Ah, yes. Okay. So, okay. We'll say also, it's Castella, maybe.
Sure. Yep. Castella can assist you with that. You would also have noticed that Flame was in Medicaid, mainly unconscious, sleeping, probably snoring quite heavily.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I kind of figured she was going to Medicaid after what happened, but. Okay. I'll get up again. Hand still twitching, and the foot starts to go in a bit of a tick. His eye still twitching, and he'll give Castella a nod before going to his room, and I guess having a fucking mental breakdown. Tossing up in the bed, kicking over lockers and everything, locking the door and just kicking everything.
That was meant to be awareness for her, to see if she could. Did she really not have awareness? I may have to double check that at one point.
That's acrobatics.
Yeah, no, it was meant to be awareness, but I apparently clicked on the wrong one, just to see if she could notice that you've seen some shit. But she's quite a bit like, she's obviously seen that shit too much, and just like, yes, I know what happens when you learn of knowledge. Nothing good. So sure, you go back to your gun cutter and release some frustrations. So who was wounded? I know we're going to have Ezio in Medicaid. I know we're going to have Mordecai in Medicaid.
Can consider me for, if it's at any way possible, 4 days medical.
Liliana, were you in Medicaid? Were you hurt at the end of...
No, I'm actually pristine.
Okay, so Liliana, give me an awareness check.
Sure. Ooh.
So, no matter where you are aboard the gun cutter, maybe you're spending some time with Tiffany. Maybe you're.
I would be spending time with Tiffany because I don't know if she's hurt or not.
I think she did. I think she did perfectly fine, to be honest with you. I think that girl had the Emperor's luck with her as well, because she was at quite some distance from the enemy, so she was charging forth, but running with something that has a pathetic ballistic skill is a really good tactic to not get hit.
I'm most likely just chilling with her because, I mean,
yep, she's perfect.
It was a rough fight, so.
And if you do ask her any questions about if she was all right. Oh, actually, no. You did this last time. Yeah, those whispers turned to be nothing. She was fine. But sure. In your smoochy cuddle time, with an actual 5, you hear things getting broken and bashed about.
I'll go check it out. I have nothing better to do. I'm mostly chilling with Tiffany, but if shit's been broken apart, I'm gonna go and check it out.
It seems to be coming from Darius's room. It sounds as if he is letting out some frustrations or anger.
I'm gonna knock on the door. You know.
It's either going to get ignored, or if you keep knocking, you're just going to hear a shout from the other side saying, "Get the fuck away!"
Okay. I'm just gonna shout through the door. I'm gonna be here when you need to talk, buddy. Just saying.
Something gets thrown against the door.
Ooh. Okay, bye. Take care. I'm gonna go back to Tiffany now. She's more fun. I'll go back to Tiffany. I'll talk to him later.
Okay, was there anything else anyone wanted to do? Or shall we skip forward some time?
I still have my requisition form to send to the guy.
Yep.
Garlic. And who would I know of that is a little more open-minded towards technology?
VV420. VV420, the Inquisitor's tech priest. Then technically it would probably go Ceres Mantorus, then Jazina's character, who I'd say is about in the middle, and then the Puritanical is the Inquisitor's tech priest who's in one of the teams.
Okay, I'm gonna go to VV420.
He's a cute one.
So you would probably find him along with some of the other tech priests. Mechanicus move pretty quickly, so they'd probably be working on your shuttle, on your gunship and the Inquisitor's gunship. VV's probably looking over at the add-ons that Ludwig helped add to the ship, whilst the more puritanical of the tech priests is working on your gun cutter. Some works are being done on that. It's got a very large hangar bay, so there's a lot of room between them.
I'm gonna just walk up to VV, pull out the capacitor I took, give him the look of a very, very happy puppy that really wants something, and start floating.
Ooh, interesting. What do you have there? I don't think I've seen that before.
It's a thing I took from the planet. The bad things tried to use it against us, but I stole it.
May I take a look, please?
Yes.
Ooh, fascinating. Interesting. Oh, increased power capacities. Ooh. This is interesting. This is not bad technology. Unknown technology, yes. Unknown, yes. Certain potential power output increase greatly. I see. At my best guess, I would say this is an Archaeotech power conduit or power storing amplifying device. I would need more data on its function and how it runs. What did you want to do with it?
I will start spinning in the air because my maglev calls are running hot, and give him a very, very meaningful look.
increased power potential for magnetic coils, increased power potential for... Interesting, fascinating, improvised, non-standard.
The fucking reverb there was brilliant.
Can Archaeotech really be called non-standard when it is installed? Is not Archaeotech all individual and blessed by the Omnisire himself? So thus the calculation would be that if Archaeotech is installed, even should it be, in experimental terms, it is still sanctified by the Omnisire himself, who has granted us this blessing.
A few bits and bobs probably have to be, well, adjusted, and I'll point at the non-imperial connection points. But the thing as a whole should be fine.
Interesting. Xenos species has indeed asphyxiated this device. Fascinating. My closest prediction would be this is Jacaro technology that has been applied to this. I have not seen many examples of Jacaro technology. The Inquisitor has very few, which is sad, but this is interesting and fascinating and ooh.
God, I need more hotkeys. So basically, as he takes it in his hand, his tiny little mechadendrite hands along his chest all start like opening, not opening things, but examining things, pulling things out, and he's just constantly turning it round in his hands with his normal augmented hands, examining things and noticing things, and he seems absolutely fascinated by this device and by the idea that you've presented. So he does take some notice after a while, as you can hear some scowling, like you could hear the scowling looks, just the hunched over, like the prayers stop for a moment, and then you could hear it as he as the mechanized eyelids kind of slowly go down. Perhaps this didn't even have the voice modulator on then. Difficult.
Perhaps this would be a conversation best held in private.
I will just nod and slowly lower myself back to the ground.
Indeed, come with me and we will examine power outputs, capacities, and see how we can implement this into your already existing gifts of the Omnisire. Adaptation leads to survival. Survival leads to the Omnisire's blessings continuing their function.
You hear a spanner get dropped as almost as if the other tech priest was like, he was just about to get something and it just drop. Adaptation. Vivi's an odd character. Very special.
I like Vivi so much.
Out of the Inquisition, probably get executed immediately. So you're led off into the Inquisitor's gun cutter, back into the engineering compartment that you were in before when you were actually doing works in here. And Vivi does get very distracted by like the different pipes and valves and things like, and you keep hearing him muttering about not knowing where this technology's from. How did these ideas come about? He keeps getting snapped back to your quandary and trying to adapt this this item into your own augmetics. So you're basically going to end up spending the rest of the day just talking shit with VV as he kind of pulls out little basically whiteboards or blackboards, and you're like going over mechanical theory and shit about how to implement this, how to test it to see what its capacity is, and so on and so forth. as well as, you know, letting him know a little bit more, or he asked questions a little bit more about what it was doing when it was functioning, which should help. So, if you give me a Adeptus Mechanicus Forbidden Law test.
I also have Archaeotech.
So it'll be Forbidden Law for Mechanicus, because you're attempting to see how you would adapt this into your own system.
Okay.
Because this isn't for the device itself yet, but that will come shortly. Is it Inquis? Oh, where the fuck is his bloody? Here we go.
I am from Rise as well, and we're basically just filling with plasma. And plasma requires magnetics, which is why I came to the idea with increasing magnetics. But, you know, the dice hate me.
It hates us all. Don't worry about it.
That's what fate points are for.
Yes, I currently have 1 because I spent every other fate point last session.
Yeah, a lot of us needed those to be spent.
As you're kind of talking over the process and talking over what needs to be done and how it can work, and essentially you're working on the Adeptus Mechanicus part, so all of your magnetic maglev coils, you're looking at that side of things. It takes you all day. You don't make as much progress as you would have liked, but you have the startings. What I'll probably do is we'll just do all these rolls. We'll do all these rolls at once rather than doing them apart. So the next day, if you want to give me a Archaeotech roll. And he should. Does he have Archaeotech, or does he have? No, I think I gave him Xenos Tech. Yeah, so I think I gave him something else. So he's just going to roll intelligence and basically go off of what you present and just bouncing ideas with you. Again, you don't make as much progress. You do have to leave for a short time to go and have a briefing with the Inquisitor, and then you come back. When you come back, he's drawn out an idea for a test that can be run involving a plasma reactor, which is aboard the ship, this Archaeotech power conductor, and a set of high-powered electromagnets using a servitor as the control platform for it all.
I like how he didn't even just use normal batteries or something. It just went straight for the plasma reactor.
Yeah, he's a bit of a shit or bust kind of character. He thinks that his maths is correct, and going off of what you said, he's like, yeah, well, this should be fine. It's Archaeotech. It'll be, yeah, fine. So, the next day.
What do you have to roll for when he blows up the entire reactor?
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. He's using the
roll?
ship, so.
What do you have to
an awareness
roll
roll
so
to see if you can see if your death's
the Emperor can see the
coming.
beautiful lights that are going to be
I mean, considering the objects involved, I assume the first thing you're going to hear about this entire test is just a very, very loud metallic clang through the entirety of the station.
No, we're rolling awareness for our next characters down on the planet.
And that was the end of the Inquisitor. Sadness. So you spent 2 days. On day 3, I would like a tech use test from you. So he will be doing one as well. There is, because you're using Archaeotech, which you don't really know exactly how things are going to function. I'm going to say there's a -20 to this test, but you can apply your bonuses. But it wouldn't be the MIU.
So, okay, and do we have access to the forges?
No. VB thinks it's probably a bad idea to go into the forges with this thing and do an experiment. You're currently in Ludwig's ship. So you can get a +10 for assistance from the servitors, but not for the because there was a +10 for servitors and a +10 for the supplies. You just don't have the supplies. Well, you know, this is why you have help. As you and VV are working together, certain parts of this are just going over your, like, the things that he's saying, and just the break from the standard of the machine cult. Even though your stand is off compared to like Mars, VV's is just out there. Like, this dude, whilst he seems to understand the purity of the machine, he doesn't understand it at all, because he's quite happy to as he's working, talk to you about how, oh, you know, if you don't have an Imperial standard fuse, you can quite simply take an orc bullet, and reroute it into this way. You must remember that to point the orc fuse in a direction away from anyone in case it should go off, and all this crazy nonsense. And you're just like, wow, where the fuck are you from with his and it kind of puts you off a bit. It takes you into the wee hours of day 3 before you actually have the device functioning.
At least you get it functioning.
By all means, this is your device, so you should be the one to push the button. I have the servitor set to a minimum power usage. It should use about 25% of the device's power stored.
So, every tech priest, or engine seer, serf, stops, screams, and covers their head as the servitor is powered up and flies straight into the ceiling and squishes. The device, sadly, is taken with it. Not squishing completely, but there is a cable that connects each piece. The device has gone up in the air. Can we get some agility tests to try and catch it? Also, he shouldn't be TT, it's VV. There we go.
Wait, how heavy is the device?
Not heavy. Not for what it can do and what it seems to be able to do, it's not heavy at all. It's probably about a kilo.
I'm gonna use my ferric lure implants.
Sure. So as the servitor shoots up, there's a moment of, oh, buddy, Omnicyano. You flip your implants on. The servitor squashes itself into the ceiling, powered by the magnets that are throwing it up into the air. And you don't need to do a test for that, do you?
I do.
It's just
considering the situation and circumstances, it shouldn't be particularly hard to succeed at least once.
Yeah, sure. So
Yeah.
if you do your test, the amount, it's how high up it's gone, how long it's falling. I would think you're going to get 2 tests before it actually hits the ground, and VV will also attempt to catch it.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, so as it begins to fall, you just are able to close your fingers up in the right positions, and it just falls towards you, and then it's in your hands, safe.
I the only saw it. That was unexpected. I had no idea its power output potential would be so great.
Winters just has the grin of a mad scientist plastered across her face.
But look at the data outread. We have much data to go over. I can see its potential.
So powerful.
So, Winters, with your 3 days, yeah, basically with your last day, where you'll be on the station, because you can get at least more resources, specialist things if you needed it here. Do you want to utilize this for your magnetic coils, or do you want to save it for something else? After going over the data, probably a sleepless night for you, Winters, as you're all this new data to go over. It looks as if the servitor just couldn't handle the amount of concentration and data management that was needed to control the power going through it. So rather than doing 25%, the capacitor only took in 25%, but it quadrupled it. So the servitor suffered 100 times of the magnetic output that it could give. In terms for you and how this would work for you, if you install it, it will give you 4 times what your maglev coils can do right now, but it will take a half action every turn in order to control it, but you'll get your full action for movement.
Okay, so the issue with that is that I already have a talent for maglev coils. That means they become they're already a half action to maintain. And my talent increases my movement speed for a half action, meaning the half action I have remaining, to my run distance.
So this would basically be a full action to maintain, but you're getting 4 times that. 4 times the lift, 4 times the sprint, 4 times the...
Jesus
yeah, but
Christ.
I wouldn't have actions to actually use that.
No, you'd basically be using... You would turn the device on, which would be a full action. So that's 1 turn. And then next turn, you'd do a full action... Sorry. No, you do a half action to turn the device on. And then the next turn, you're using a full action to maintain the device, the power output, and so on and so forth. But for that, you can do your normal move action, but at 4 times the value. And the lift of the device will also be 4 times the value. So if it only gives you a meter now, it'll be 4 meters once it's done.
Okay.
VV does inform you that whilst he's quite fascinated to see the results of this, there are other things that could potentially be increased far more. than your maglev coils, as it appears to any energy used, it will increase by power of 4. He thinks that what it was used for in the actual device was increasing the transmission. So the transmitter was powered by times 4, which was how it was able to transmit data to the heretic in orbit. Because with the crackle going on, it shouldn't have been able to.
I mean, the other thing that comes to mind that it could use would be the ferric lures. Or the plasma rifle, but I don't want to fiddle with a plasma rifle.
Well, you don't want a supercharged plasma rifle?
No.
If it explodes on a 4?
So with your the fabric lore, it would again do 4 times. So you get 4 times the weight, the range, and the magnetic draw power, which I believe would mean you would actually be able to pick up basic weapons.
At 4 times the distance.
Yes.
Actually, that sounds hilarious. Yes, please. Because the roll of distance for ferric lure is already 20 meters. With my talent, it's 40.
Oh, sweet fucking Jesus.
Yeah, you can do this. So the strength of it, unless it states otherwise in the rulebook, I'm going to say would be a strength of 20. So if someone is actually holding a gun or holding an item, it would be an opposed strength test. Can you pull it out of their hand? If you're doing it whilst they're surprised and things like that, you'll get bonuses. Like in combat, if someone's holding a gun and you want to pull it out of their hand, it would have a basic strength of 2. So more than enough for you to be able to pull things towards you, but maybe not enough to overpower someone in a opposed strength test. But pulling grenades, things like that, ammo clips, that's all well within your grasp to do.
It definitely fucking is.
So, right. So, on the last day, you kind of come to this decision before you leave the space station. Now, we're going to go back, I think it's 2 or 3 days now, I can't quite remember, to your debriefing.
Yes.
So, all of you are gathered up in the...
How many days?
2, I believe.
2 days. 2 days, so 6 HP back for you all.
Hey.
I need 2 more days into mid bay.
So by the time you leave the space station, you'll be all healed up.
I closed the wrong tab. Fuck. Yeah.
So as you all meet in the command center of the space station where Darius was before, you'll notice that all the tech priests are gone. The Magos Dominus is still there, and all the other tech priests who are in the party would also be there as well. So Winters and VV kind of enter together. The rest of the team are also all brought in, so this is a whole group affair. My acolytes, I'd like to thank you all for your service to the God Emperor. You have done outstandingly well. I could not have asked for better from all of you. But there is one group that pushed a little bit harder and proved themselves to be quite competent indeed. He obviously looks over at your group. You have made me proud, honestly. I thought the Tyranids on the planet were more than enough, but to then come back to the station and accomplish so much, it is truly a sight to behold. on to matters at hand. So, on the 3D display, you'd see 3 ships that appear, and Mechanicus information to go along that goes along with it. Winters, you know the ships of the name. You know the names of the ships. So there is the SFAFRT ship into the star. There's the SFAFRT ship, the Vagabond's Liberty. For those of you who, like the Inquisitor's reading this shit out to you, for those of you who are looking kind of puzzled, he then tells you it is the Santa Fe Agua Fria Resource Transportation Guild.
Oh, okay, I see now.
I'll just cock my head to the side and like, oh.
And a rogue trader ship, the Serpent's Herald.
Not a nominous name at all.
Sus.
Do I know
Not
this
gonna
name?
lie. Not gonna lie. Kinda sus.
Yes, you do, Winters. This is also a ship that was in the data pool. So when you were at the... I believe, if my memory serves right, and I think it's about 80%. When you're on the Agri World, after you joined the party, you found that there were ships that had come to this system to dock on the Agri World. There were 3 ships that were kind of notable because they shouldn't really be here, but they, again, it's not alarm bells. But when you were on the mining world, you found out that these ships had been here as well. The interesting ones for you are the 2 guild ships, because they would be correlated. That information would correlate the information of ships bringing material and supplies to build the bridge. And you also know that other Adeptus Mechanicus members performed the work, not those tasked with the maintenance and work of the mining world itself, an unaugmented sect of the Adeptus Mechanicus. It would seem as if, at the very least, we need to investigate the Santa Fe and Agua Fria Resource Transportation Guild, as there are no records at all related to the fact that they were hired to build a bridge or some such. He holds up Winter's report, because he would have had time to go over all this shit. And this rogue trader, well, we were fortunate enough that Ludwig's sensors aboard his ship, his Argo rays, were undamaged. Before the ship left into the warp, we were able to get a plasma reactor data readout. And that plasma reactor, at the very least, should belong to the Serpent's Herald. And wouldn't you know, thanks to the Magos's and the Adeptus Mechanicus's information, it just so happens that he brings up the monitor. This is the one that Darius saw before. But he's actually going back in time. So, he tells you what dates they are. And a few weeks before you left Agrafria, the Serpent's Herald was in orbit. It was another ship in Dr. Agrafria. Oh, sorry, Santa Fe, rather. And then as he moves on with the data, it shows the ship moving throughout the planets within this system at different times with the guild ships. Now, although this is not peculiar activity for a ship to take, it is highly fucking suspicious that everywhere these 3 ships have gone, the God Emperor has been insulted. And I don't like that. I'd quite like to know what these ships are up to. Now, I'm willing to bet at the very least that we can find out about the Santa Fean Guild on Santa Fe. But I also bet we'll find out something about this rogue trader ship. Because, funnily enough, the captain has a family on that world. And I'd quite like to introduce myself and see what's what there.
Doesn't that
I'm just...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You first.
Mine is just... I'm just gonna mutter under my breath. I wonder how the brothel is doing.
God fucking damn it.
I said for you to go first.
I will bring up that, as it said in our report, there already was a rogue trader operating, or rogue trader family operating on that world before. Is it common to have multiple?
So that particular rogue trader family, I believe, was caught up in the incident before.
Yeah.
Well, the captain happens to be a Warner Antoine Marcus. Or Marcusy.
Oh boy, hang on, which one was that?
It seems he has a military background.
Yep.
And I'm quite interested in that because, well, wouldn't you know, his family, well, they didn't seem to have many problems in that little purge that Santa Fe went through. Well, Agrafria went through.
Did I get rid of it? What the fuck is my... Oh, wait, Agrafria.
On top of that, I would like to look into this Skolam that was mentioned before. They seem to have some heretical business going on. Might be a good idea to look into them again. I know they had ties to certain organizations and seemed legit, but all of the information you found did lead me to question their legitimacy.
The book wasn't enough. That's out of character, not saying that in public. Well.
But on top of that, the rogue trader captain, of the Emperor's Profiteer, has also requested that we meet up at one point in his terms. He has some interesting things to pass along. So it'll take a few weeks, I'm sure, for him to arrive in orbit. We should be in orbit in a few days, given given Ludwig's ship, maybe a few days longer, but it's not a long voyage. So we will utilize the contacts that we already have there. I will allow your team to take the lead on that, however. For the rest of you, you will conduct yourselves investigating other avenues, but we'll make sure that we don't step on each other's feet in this operation.
Our previous cover would make for a beneficial meeting point, as well as a regular stop, should it come to it. It was posed as a bar / whatever.
I'm not gonna say this, so this is out of character. You do know he read the reports, right? He knows what our power was.
I know.
Well, we could certainly use that as a low-key meeting point, as it seems to be the right kind of character of a place to conduct such private meetings. Only I will have to make a few improvements. I hope you understand. They will only be beneficial, as I have spoken to the Magos about assisting us with certain needs that these missions will take. Require. For the most part, I'm hoping this will take a few weeks on planet to resolve, but should certain nobility be tied to more dangerous things, then, well, we have as much time as we need at this stage. I have done my errands and can now be let loose to investigate matters of my own interest. On top of that, down on the planet, there is a bridge that myself and one squad knows of. The Magos here has been informed that that bridge must be destroyed. It is never again to be opened. And there should never be a bridge there ever again. I have had word from my savant that what we uncovered there was a Regia Occulta. Translated into Low Gothic, it means hidden way. These are a natural phenomena, from what she has told me. However, they are able to be opened through cult activity. Very large rituals we're talking about here. Incredibly large. From the information I was able to give to her, given the method of communication, she believes that this was a natural occurring phenomena, and that our enemies must have known of the crackle of this area's potential. And that means that they could be quite powerful. So from here on end, we'll be going silent. These will be the last few requests that I make of the Inquisition. Once we are done on Santa Fe, I will reveal myself and deal with the consequences then. In Inquisitorial terms, this means I am going rogue. I will not give any coded transmissions to the Inquisition for now. I've already cleared this with my Ordo Master. However, This also means that I do not want anyone to blow our cover. If I must use my Inquisitorial edict to save anyone, well, the cover is blown. So use your aliases well. For those of you who don't know how to use an alias, speak to our most learned team here. Jonas.
Oh, my PC froze up for a second there.
Jonas, I have a special mission for you. You are to stay with the boy. Keep your limiter off. I do not want him connected to the warp for some time. Or at least until he regains consciousness. Jonas, the ever pissed off null of the Inquisitor, you can hear him swearing in a... he had a kind of a French, South African accent that I haven't done in a very long time. So he's just swearing. Talk about secrets. But for the rest of you, we'll be leaving in about 2 days' time. Have your requisition request sent to the Magos, and enjoy 2 days R&R on this lovely space station. Because our next sprint of R&R will be on Ludwig's ship in the warp. If you have any questions, have at it. If you're happy with what's been said, or not, dismissed.
Well, what about what's our RE with Imperial officials? Like, if someone tries to dig into us too much and they corner us, what are we supposed to do? Figure it out on the spot, or just follow protocols?
Use your aliases. The other team will inform you if you do not have one, but fall back on that as much as possible. If you are, of course, in a predicament, one that you cannot get out of, I believe we do have the old reliable fallback of we work for a rogue trader. Although it is blatantly obvious that most individuals who get up to no good and work for rogue traders are Inquisition, that does have a slight advantage and disadvantage. It might be enough to sway things a little bit, or it could be possible that, well, if Ludwig can take the brunt of the fall for us in certain areas. Let's say the enforcers catch you killing some individuals that deserved the God Emperor's punishment, but they wouldn't quite understand. Well, the rogue trader line will get you some ways as to getting out of there before the well, this world doesn't have Arbites, or it's got one, if I remember your report right. The Secret Police, I think, is the organization on this world.
Yes. I say, looking at or reminding myself of the armor I have back in my bunk.
If I remember correctly, it had 3 before us.
Probably don't want to say that in front of the Arbite. The former Arbite.
I don't care. I don't care that the Arbites.
He looks
I don't like
really
him. I don't
confused.
Care.
What's that about, Inquisitor? What do you mean the Arbites are not in the Arbites had a difficulty some years ago with corruption. Would you believe it? As well as a minor purging of some of the nobility it was deemed necessary to purge a large number of the Arbeiters. I believe from your reports, as you said, there's one left. He appears to have been sent in from the Ultramar head of Arbeits on planet Ultramar. So he's the only one that seems to be still around, as from reports, the one went missing and one turned rogue. But again, this world has had some difficulties. I don't hold it against the Arbeits, but the secret police are the ones in charge on this world, at least for now. He does not look happy at all. He looks as if someone truly insulted his very core, fucked his mother in front of his face and jizzed in her eye for good measure, and just had to sit there and yes sir, no sir, do it again sir, sure sir. Not a happy bunny.
I'm trying to contain. I'm trying to stop myself from giggling that side. So I'm gonna be a good boy and I'm not gonna laugh.
Winters is a little too distracted to comment.
There is also another matter that needs to be discussed. The archaeotech device that is in the Underhive. I will want VV to assess its function and to assess those in the Underhive who guard it. Now, I am more than willing to make myself present for this matter. I'd quite like to get a decent judge of this Wild Warden leader. If your reports are accurate, and if he was not deceiving you, he could be a ally to help keep this thing where it is. However, if the reports that shit, what was her name? Jenny. If the report that Jenny had provided me, I believe that those guardians of the Mechanicus will be the ones who we will need to sway. But my Ordo Master has confirmed that he wants more data, so I do not wish to displease him in this matter. But then again, it shouldn't be difficult for y'all to get VV into the Underhive, I'm sure. There's a smirk on his face as he says that.
Right? We get to visit the Twists again. Mordecai!
I'm gonna look at Mordecai, see how happy he is with the current situation.
You get your flame pistol back.
Yes. I get something that I used to make flames with, and my old flame. It's all good.
Did you give PTSD attack to? What point?
One? Wow. Thanks for forgetting all the other times.
Well, but before you left,
yes,
as a parting gift, you give a flame pistol and a PTSD attack.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. So, are there any other questions?
Not currently, but how is the situation going to be when we get back? I actually realize this is a question. Our team is going back to the Raven's Court, I take it, and the other teams are inserting something similar to the way we did previously.
I would more likely say that each one of you will babysit a portion of the rest of the team. We'll get on world and make our way to this Raven Court so everyone knows whereabouts it is. Once they know where it is, they will then meet up in their workable teams and egress from there.
I'll look over at Fleam, knowing that's the one I'm going to have to take.
I would like to lay claim on Nutella so she can come with us, because I like her. She's fun.
Well, don't leave me with the priest.
And the samurai guy, he's fun too.
We can take our time in infiltrating.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be on the same day. It can be spread out.
Yeah.
I mean, technically speaking, with our alibi, we could quite easily insert them as new hires for the staff.
As long as you can get ident chits for the rest of them from Captain Jack.
Well, we do have another supplier as well.
I'm going to hold my chin and say, well, there is always Mary Dave and Mr. Black, too.
Oh, yes, your reports mentioned that, didn't they? If you can, by all means, you may have to go in before us, but if not, Ludwig can create ident chits for his ship. I should surely hope so. Because by the Emperor, he should be able to. But again, we will have time to plan out our egress onto the world. We don't have to rush into things. If your team needs to go down first, then so be it. If not, we'll see if we can get our troops on the ground in whatever means needed. And should bribes be needed to be paid, by all means, we do have some funds available to us. But I'd hope not to have to use that if at all possible.
Okay.
So, the missions. Broken down the missions.
Yes.
You are to investigate the Transportation Guild. You are to investigate the Rogue Trader. You are to get VV to the Archaeotech device. And you are to investigate further the school. Not Astra Progenia. That's an actual legitimate school. The
Scholar.
The Schola Terrenian.
Terrenian.
Terrenia.
Yep.
I lost my notes, so I don't remember.
So the Scholar, the Inquisitor, and the device.
Investigate the guilds, investigate the Rogue Trader, investigate the Scholar, and insert VV to this Archaeotech?
Yes.
Okay. Was there another one there? Well, there's sneak everyone onto the world. That's number one.
Yeah. Get everyone onto the world, which you'll have a number of options on how to do, utilizing Ludwig's ship and your own shuttle.
I already have the perfect background for Nutella.
Oh no.
Although that might be frowned upon now that I think about it, because this is 40k.
Oh dear, we'll save it for later. So, if there are no other questions, or if you bring up if you have any other questions later, you can just bring them up with me. But that will be the end of the Inquisitors debriefing, basically, for everyone. So, is there anything anyone wanted to do with their last couple of days? If not, we will jump forwards to when you guys are leaving.
I would like to get my requisitions done before I piss off the tech magos.
I want to do the requisitions too, but can we technically do that after the session because it'll be easier?
Yeah, I'm basically going to be ending the session in 15 to half an hour, that kind of time.
Sure.
So that you guys can do all your requisitions afterwards and all your buying afterwards.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So,
Yeah, because I have a feeling that the Marcus is going to be a lot less friendly towards us after Vivi and I are done.
So
He's adorable,
the operation Eris for you will be the day that you enter the warp.
Okay.
So you've done all your calculations now. You've done everything. All day. Well, you technically haven't. You're still working on them, but you've done rolls for the full days, and you've done your experiment. So the day that you go off into the warp will be the day that that you get the device installed.
Oh god. Okay. Okay, go on to the knife the day we enter the warp. Good.
yeah.
Don't worry, it's going to be fine.
After we leave the meeting, I will go check on Darius to see if he's okay now. He wants to grab a drink and talk, but
no. Darius is going to cool off for another day before to spend the. So we have 3 days before we hit warp?
2 days after the Inquisitors meeting.
Alright. You'll spend the rest of the day cooling off still before checking up on people, I suppose. Go back to making sure everyone's alright, talking to people through what the planet's like and etc. on the other teams, and checking in with our team.
I'd probably firstly apologise to the Inquisitor for getting the leg of his carapace blown off, even though it wasn't my fault, and also try and get his help in fixing the data slate in some way, so we can see what's on it. Maybe
the data slate is utterly destroyed. Yeah, you can't salvage something that's been shot with a bolt pistol.
Yeah, in which case I give them to him because it was like it seemed important, but he keeps trying to affect my mind. So probably better with you than me.
You do tell him that. Okay, he doesn't touch them. He's
trying to diddle my brain pan.
You're like trying to pass it off. He's like, no, he's going to, and then you're like, they affected my mind. He's like, He tells you to
he
go.
He opens the safe.
How about
he basically tells you to take them onto his ship, in the cargo hold on the opposite side to the Cognites. There's a vault. In that vault, there are places where you can keep warp-tainted items for a short amount of time.
Yeah. That's
and when you go in there, it's like
it's
a full-on Inquisitorial vault. You know, there's a servitor that opens the door. You go in, and there's all these like specially sealed boxes that weigh an absolute fucking ton. That you can open them up and put the thing in, and then there's like a little instruction that says, once box is full, close lid, place purity seal, leave. No, pray to the Emperor, leave. Okay, push. God Emperor, protect this box and protect me, and then.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
What's the seal? For the love of the almighty Biggie in the sky, don't open it.
I really hope the Reyes walks in on Winters and Vivi during their little experiment.
I will give you one thing, Mordecai. Considering you did pack up, you picked up all the pieces. There was probably a large bit towards the bottom, like where it would hold the serial numbers and so on and so forth. You do get a serial number from the data slate.
Okay.
So you can add on, serial number, data slate. It will be a -40 test to locate items for serial numbers, but if you want to spend a month, you can do that.
Swear to God, if the serial number is just 7777777-7, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
No, it's 666666666.
-9.
-N-01-C-E.
I will tell you a serial number at one point. So yeah, you see a serial number on it. But apart from that, yeah, there's nothing. It's just bits of circuitry and bits of glass, really red glass that kind of give you a warm feeling when in your hand, but clearly something wrong with them.
It feels so good, but so wrong at the same time.
Little bit. So, if there's nothing else that anyone wants to do, we move.
I want to ask later in private, Inquisitor, if I can have access to some books I can learn demonology. Not in the same way as Mordecai. I just want to learn how to, what they are and how to better prepare myself to fight them.
Apply generous amounts of firepower.
Are you? Pretty much.
I will ask this in private to the Inquisitor.
Are you asking for Forbidden Law demonology?
Yes.
I can't remember. Is it willpower test for Forbidden Laws and then corruption, or is it just straight up corruption?
Yeah. Is it straight up willpower?
I can't remember. It was a shit deal when I realised it, and I'm a research welder. But then I think
you actually just get. I think you just get one corruption point for every.
I already have demonology. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Different characters. Sorry.
Yeah,
I already have demonology.
You picked it up. We both picked up our first rank of demonology after the Fleshhound fight.
Yeah, no, never mind. Forget that. Sorry.
Yeah, so he would basically tell you that Mordecai has received Inquisitorial sanctioned documents regarding that fact. You can ask him to look at the documents afterwards. You have his permission to, but it would be once he's done with them, and as long as you follow the rules that he was told when handling very, very dangerous materials. Yeah, other than that, I think you actually just get one insanity or corruption whenever you get a Forbidden Law. I think you just take one. You don't get a willpower test, but I will double check in the book.
I already Forbidden Law. I already have Forbidden Law demonology, so.
Yeah, but
I do have 3 corruption. I don't know where.
Yeah, no. So
I think this is more for you, so you can continue and learn the psychic powers as well and stuff.
As far as I'm aware, you guys got demonology, but did not have anywhere to learn it from. That's why Mordecai got a book, because that book actually gives him the knowledge of demonology. Because you haven't rolled it, you didn't roll it when the demon host appeared, and you probably wouldn't have been able to because you didn't know what a demon host was. You had the lore in terms of it was on your character sheet. Stuff like that, you do need to read a book. That's why Mordecai's got a proper actual book.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get the book later. Then I'll talk to Mordecai.
Yes, you will.
Because that's genuinely how you do. In 40k, anything that dangerous goes on paper, not on data slate. That's just how the Imperium rolls. Because somehow you can't corrupt paper, or you can't change it. Anyway. So
Also,
was
like,
that the
sanctified
last?
paper.
Wait, I think it is. I think it genuinely is. Because
Yeah,
if you
'cause it's
write
the-
down
It can be
Slanesh,
inscribed with protection and stuff like that. It can be inscribed with prayers on the back. Like one side's prayer, one side's the actual data.
Yeah.
if you write
It-
Slanesh on a data slate, it will make the data slate blow up. It'll burn it out just having the name of it. Like servitors have been doing that shit where they take notes and you say Slanesh and all of a sudden the servitor just starts fucking up because it can't write the word. It's one of the 8 or 16 unwritable words.
Yeah.
Right. So if you write Slanesh, basically it overloads the thing to blow up because it downloaded too much fog.
Yeah. Even pen even pen and paper, if you write Nurgle, the paper will fester and rot and disappear if it's not on sanctified paper. That's the power of just the names of the chaos gods. And I think some of the demons as well, but I only know for fact for the gods.
Interesting.
But if there are no more questions, we move forwards 2 more days where everyone should be fully healed by now. Your requests have gone in and you've got your items, or yeah, you've got some items. It's going to take 24 hours for Ludwig to get his ship into position and then to actually enter the warp. So, Winters.
Yes.
You are sure you want your whatever it's called, laws upgraded?
It's either those or the auger array that I'm getting. But the lures
It
make more
wouldn't-
sense because I'm from Ryza.
It wouldn't do that much for the auger array. It would increase its range by 4, and the amount that it could penetrate. Like, it would be able to penetrate really thick walls better than a normal one, but it wouldn't give you that much more data on it. So if you are going for the lures, then we will have you go under. So, because this is quite a different one than Inquisition, there we go. So, VV, we're going to need you. And then I'm probably going to say that assisting VV in this operation is going to be the next heretical tech priest, which would be Ceres. So, you have Ceres and VV who are going to be doing the operation. So I believe it's VV for Cybernetica, and it's Ceres for the Medicae. So then, for the Medicae, it's going to be a -20, but she's getting a +10 for assistance. So it's going to be a -10 overall. Okay, 3 degrees of success on the Medicae, and then a tech use to install the device. Now this is Archaeotech, which genuinely speaking means it has a -30 to being installed. At least that's the Rogue Trader terminology for it, or instructions, whatever it is. So he is being assisted, and he can use his MIU, because technically he's using it on you to see how your Cybernetica is functioning. So that's a -10 overall. Yes. Okay, so he gets 3 degrees. It's 3 degrees and 3 degrees. Marvelous. Okay, Winters, can you give me a toughness test with a +60, I believe?
Also, no, wait, yes, 3 degrees.
So 3 degrees of success. There are no negatives. So I believe you are back on your feet in 2 days, with the device functioning and working at your command. However, Fortunately, Eris, you come back to us as we have already entered the warp. Where was my warp transit page? Which I've already rolled for expedience. So, not that one. There we go. So, Winters, you awake to be in the Immaterium, and Winters, you feel your doom upon you. You don't know what it is. You don't know why. When you wake up, VB seems so happy. Ceres Mantorus seems incredibly surprised that you would go about this, but also intrigued and interested, and yet something upon your soul swears that this voyage is cursed, and things are going to go very, very wrong for you.
Don't they always?
They kind of do, but now it's going to be even worse. And that's where we're going to end our episode. So, thank you all so much for joining me. I certainly hope you're going to join us next week to find out how doomed is Winters, and can she get any more doomed? I mean, I already hate her.
Have you seen my dice?
Exactly. Well, I suppose we could push them over the top a little bit more to more natural hundreds. That's about it. But yes, please join in next time so you can find out what happens in that episode. So thank you all so much for joining me. I certainly hope you had a good time and are looking forward to more of our shenanigans. Take care, everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.